Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. And today we are going to discuss the issue of pain and what plasma energy can do to alleviate that condition.
Okay, and we have several products that have kind of come online one at a time, so sometimes it seems like there's a little overlap, but we'll cover that as we're talking about it. And I just wanted to mention here, we have 360 million Americans. The CDC says that 70 million Americans are now hooked on legal opioid prescriptions. 10 million are illegally addicted to opium. And one of the issues with this is people may start out at a low level of a prescription, and then they're going to become, resistant to it?
Tolerant
to it. So was that your same experience with animals that were on pain relievers?
Yeah, that's the same thing, yeah.
Okay, it's the same issue. So we want to present to you some alternatives to using opioids. And one man here said he was completely addicted after 22 days in the hospital, and he got out of the hospital and was on 10 milligrams of opioids a day. But then, he said had he continued on that, he may have built up to 50 milligrams a day because of building up a tolerance or needing to have more and more.
Right.
Okay. So here's what we're going to tell you about what we've addressed for pain. The first thing we came out with was inflammation relief. And inflammation relief has multiple ingredients in it, and one of them is from the ancient sacred plant and CBD oil.
Cannabis plant.
Exactly. And then when Paul formulates things, you always add a little extra besides the beginning ingredient.
Right. I always add a little bit of the amino acid of CO2 and CH3, and also some Korean B9 salt. It seems to enhance the effectiveness. It has a synergistic effect, and so we usually add a little bit of that in, not a whole lot, but just a small amount to increase the activity.
Okay, so if you have sore muscles, then this would probably be an appropriate thing to use. And I found it very useful if I've eaten something that ends up causing a little bit of bloat, and I can just spray it on my abdomen and relieve that within a very short time. So that's why I always make my beginning source, and when we send out inflammation relief, we'll send it in the form of a glass vial when it's warm door to warm door. And as you can see, you can put a glass vial in a container like this, and that's your mother source. Now once you have that made, you can make another vial of it and put it in a spray bottle. And why do I do that? Well, let's just say I'm sitting there working on typing some documents or something, and maybe I have a sore leg or something from sitting in one position too long. I can just take and spray this bottle on my leg or right on my pant leg. Doesn't matter. The pant leg's going to have it right next to the skin. So that's what we do with inflammation relief. Now, what about arthritis relief, Paul? That's going to be a little different use than the inflammation relief.
Well, the way that I use the arthritis relief, because I have arthritic knees, is I put that water on the pads of a fabric Band-Aid and use 3 of them on each knee. On one side, I have 2 that overlap.
There's lots and lots of Band-Aids. And we'll use my arm as a simulation of a...
On one side of my knee, I used 2 like this, which would, if this was my knee, would go on one side. Then on the other side, I used just 1. It would go over here. And these are completely dry. They've been wet with the arthritis formulation and then completely dried. And that gives a plasmatic field through the knee and balances the energies through that knee and relieves the pain. So I get great relief with that method, and I have both my knees are arthritic, but they don't hurt at all.
So you leave these on 24/7 till these things kind of look like little rags and finally fall off, right?
Right, right. And when they fall off, I just put on a couple of new ones.
Get a new one. And so really all he's spraying is this part of the Band-Aid that you see, the gauze part. And somebody wrote to me and said, well, what do I do if my Band-Aids that I have on hand are just, they're completely tape? Well, what she decided to do was just cut out little pieces of fabric and put them on the Band-Aid and then let that be her, like her gauze on the Band-Aid.
That works.
And that'll work great. So, and Paul used to wear 3 rings that he had filled with different Gans water, but you couldn't sleep in them, could you?
No, they were pretty cumbersome.
And they would have been uncomfortable to sleep in. And are you finding just as much effect or more effect with the Band-Aids?
I seem to have a better effect with the Band-Aids than I did with the complete rings.
Okay, and then the third thing we have for pain relief, and this is almost a whole enchilada type of thing. It's pain relief, but what happened is it's addressing arthritis and inflammation. So it's got a little of everything in it. And we also have some C60 in some of this too, don't we?
Not in the arthritis formula.
Not in the arthritis formula?
No.
Okay, I seem to recall that it might be in the pain formula, but I could be making things up.
It's in Life Force.
It's in Life Force. Okay, I thought maybe I was making something up. So that's just a way that you can have things on hand. Now, out of these 3, is there anything you shouldn't be drinking?
No, it's all fine. You can drink it all. And in fact, the inflammation relief, if I ever get a little heartburn, and I often do, I'll just drink some of that inflammation relief water, and that helps a lot.
Okay, and a lot of your heartburn issues come from your transplant meds, right?
It's the medications that I take because of the kidney transplant, and they're anti-rejection medications. Without them, my body would see the transplanted kidney as a foreign object and try to reject it. So I have to take those medications, and just like many medications, they have side effects. Heartburn is a big one.
And we had a nice testimonial from a woman who had some pain. She fell down and hurt her hip, and she didn't break anything, but she was just really sore. And so what she did is she put some of the pain relief in her laundry water and washed the sheets, and particularly pajamas and other clothing that would touch that area, and spun it dry. Well, when she was sleeping, she had complete presence of the pain relief, and so it really helped her pass that issue. And then I heard from somebody else who said, I just purchased the vial for arthritis. I combined it with pain and inflammation and made up a spray bottle with a vial of that water. I couldn't believe how fast the spray worked on my sore elbow. It even worked on my fingers. And for me, it worked really well as a combination, so you might want to try this combination on gloves, because often I'll tell people, and we do have them on our website where we soak gloves.
Right.
Now you have worn those gloves, right?
Right.
And why are you doing that?
Well, my hands cramp up when I'm doing a lot of small work because of old hemodialysis shunts in this arm. Shunts are where they put the needles in for hemodialysis to drain the blood and pump it back into you after it's gone through the dialysis machine. And in the process of having those shunts, they compromise the blood circulation and make it to where your hands and fingers cramp up, and you're more prone to getting arthritis and sore muscles and sore nerves. So that's why I use it.
So that's just an idea that if you do have sore hands, you can take some cotton gloves and soak them in your combination waters, whichever you have on hand, and you can even wear them while you sleep. You do that pretty often.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes I do if my hands are fatigued and sore after a lot of typing. And I suppose if you had the same issue with your feet, you could do your socks.
Sure.
And just do a pair of light cotton socks. You could even wear them to bed. So, all right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, well, take a look at our website. It's plasmaenergysolution.com. If you go to the shop heading on the home page and then select products, you can look at all the products we have, and we're putting up a lot of videos to explain what the various products are. So be sure and take a look at that. And do you have anything else you want to add?
The only thing I might say is we thank you very much for watching this video. If you feel you've gotten any value from it, give us a big thumbs up and share it with your friends and relatives. And if you have any comments, you can leave them down below in the comments section. And if you would wish to subscribe to this channel, just hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.